Most of the realtor. We are back. Today we're going to talk about buying a house at 22. So I bought my house about 5 years ago. At the time I was 22 years old. I feel as though till today is the best decision I've ever made. 2020, as you know, the rates were like 3%, low threes, and around the twos. So I bought my house in 2020, got a rate of 3.125. So what I would say is that was the best decision I've ever made in my life. If I could repeat it, I would probably make the same decision again if I could go back. So how was the process buying a house at that age? So at the time, I used a mortgage company. I didn't use a bank. I did not use a bank because I couldn't get a hold of them at the time that I needed them. Like, there was one house I lost because I decided to go with the bank. The house at the time was $95,000. It was a 2-bed, 1-bath, and it was like a Friday afternoon. I couldn't get a hold of them. It was, I believe it was like Chase at the time. I could not get a hold of them, and so I lost the house. So Monday comes, I went with a regular mortgage company because if I'm buying a house, I need a mortgage officer that I can get a hold of anytime. I don't want to buy a house and then you can't get a hold of the mortgage company. If you're buying your first property, make sure I would say the banks offer like all these different grants and stuff like that, but it's a little bit more stressful to go with the bank than to go with a mortgage company. The mortgage companies make the process a lot easier, very easy. So there was like multiple properties that I've seen. I will put like pictures of the houses on here on the video, like a couple of houses. I'm not gonna put the addresses, but I'm gonna put the houses that I've seen and I've thought about. At the time, I was actually thinking about getting a house that was 2 bedrooms, 2-bedroom, 1-bath. There was this one house I seen. I'm not sure why I was in love with the house because of the basement. It was listed at 120. Now that I think about it, I'm glad I didn't go with that house. Then there was another house too that had a 2-bed, 1-bath, and it had a basement too. It wasn't a finished basement, but then there was in the back, there was like a living room area in the back that I really liked. So I kind of thought about getting that one too. Then there was like another house I seen. This one was actually one that sometimes I regret not getting that house. That one was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath. I'm not sure why. I didn't like upstairs in that house. That house was a 3-bed, 2-bath. It had a basement. It was an unfinished basement, but it was a nice basement. It had upstairs, 1 room upstairs, 2 bedrooms in the middle. It's 3-bed, 2-bath. 1 bathroom was upstairs, and then there's another bathroom that was on the first floor. I didn't like the restroom that was on the second floor. I don't know why. I just didn't like it. So the house was listed at 115. I kept bidding. I kept bidding 112. I kept basically putting in an offer of 112. And I think they countered back at 113 or 114, and for some reason I didn't want it. So I was like, I don't want this house. But right now I kind of regret not getting that house. I regret. I should have gotten that house. I kind of regret it just a little bit, not too much. Just the second floor restroom, bathroom being in the bedroom. I don't know. It creeped me out. I don't know if it was just that house and it was on the street too, so it was gonna be difficult to get out whenever you're trying to get out of the house. It was like on a long street, a busy street at that. So I didn't get that house too. The house I ended up with was actually more than that house. This one was a 3-bedroom, 1-bath. It didn't have a finished basement. It had an unfinished basement. It has a big backyard, driveway on the front. It's not on a busy street. It's a small street. So I went with that house. So that house was listed 125. As soon as I seen it, I was like, I gotta get that So I was the first one to see the house because since I'm a real estate agent and stuff. So I want to say, yeah, let's do this. Since I'm a real estate agent, I went and seen it as soon as I got off work. I got off like at 7:30, seen it at 7:50, and I feel like around 8 or 9 I wrote an offer. I wrote my offer. It was listed at 125. I wrote my offer for 115. I wrote an offer for 115, so I was like $10,000 less. I didn't ask for closing costs, and I did not ask for I asked for a home warranty, and I did not ask for closing costs, but I did ask for a home warranty. So I asked for the seller to pay my home warranty instead of me paying it, but I paid my own down payment and my own closing costs. So the agent was like, 120. They were like 115. No, we can't do 115. So I was like, I called the agent. I was like, do you think 118? The seller might budge at 118. And the agent was like, maybe, but send the offer in and I'll speak to the seller. So 118, the offer was accepted. Yeah, so the offer was accepted for 118. Of course, it's like less than that once you pay the down payment and stuff like that. So the process of buying a home is very stressful. I mean, maybe it was a little bit more stressful because I was an agent, also a realtor. So it was a little bit stressful because of that. But the good thing is I had a good lender, a lender that I could depend on. By the way, I'll put his info down in link. I'll put a picture of him on the left side. So the lender was with Envoy Mortgage. Envoy was he was a very nice guy. James was his name. With Envoy Mortgage, he was a really nice guy. So we went through the process. It kind of started getting a little bit stressful towards like the end, because they needed like my employment verification, and it wasn't because of the lender, it was because of my employer. My employer was very hard to like get information from. So I also had an issue with like my bank or something. They were saying some stuff about there was some stuff on my bank that I was young, so I was a little bit careless with my bank. I wasn't that responsible at the time. But when you're buying a house, they look at your whole history. But my score at the time, I think, was 650 or 660. I went and got an FHA loan, fixed rate, 3.125 rate. I didn't go conventional because of my score being so low. So yeah, we went through the process, and yeah, I closed on my house. I paid at closing, I believe I paid like $7,000 something. I was able to get a gift, and I was able to get funds from. I was able to get a gift because I got a gift because some of my funds, something was going on with some of my funds. So I got a gift from somebody, and I paid them after closing. And I got a gift from I think it was my sister at the time. I got a gift from her, and I paid her back after closing once I closed my house. What else? So basically, it was a stressful process, but best decision I've ever made in my life. When the closing, I posted a picture of the closing right there. We went to closing, and it was the best decision ever. I was so happy. And then also the other reason I decided to buy a house is I'm a real estate agent. I'm telling people to buy a house. Why am I not buying a house myself? So it's like, if I'm gonna motivate people to buy a house, I need to buy it in stuff too. So yeah, we bought the house. Best decision ever. What I would suggest is, if you're thinking about buying a house but you're not sure, what I would suggest to you is go ahead and buy. At least go ahead and speak to a lender about the process. Just speak to a lender, speak to a realtor, and ask them like, If you bought a house before, how is the process? All you have to do is have a full-time job and 2-year W. You need a 2-year work history and a full-time job. Um, it's based on your income. It's really not. It doesn't really have to be a full-time job. It's based on your income. So I would suggest speak to a lender or speak to a realtor and just be like, hey, I'm trying to buy a house. Well, what's the process? At least to get the pre-approval process going. That way you know how much you would be approved for. That way you would know if you have to fix your credit score. You can fix your credit score and work on that. But yeah, so it's most of the realtor again. So you guys go ahead, comment, share, like, subscribe. If you have any questions at all about the home buying process, let me know. I will walk you through it if I have to. Yeah, so I bought my house. I also got something called a term life insurance. What is a term life insurance is for the next video. But yeah, go ahead and subscribe, share, like to my channel. Thanks.